Yeah, very big welcome to you, my dear Scorpio. So the Earth has turned in such a way that when we look at the Sun now, we see the constellation Leo. And the Moon has also turned in such a way that when we look at the Moon, we see the constellation Scorpio behind it. Two animals that are looking into the left spinning cycle, the soul cycle, the spiritual cycle. The transformation that we get into when we recognize that there are dualities that are holding us in a place, in a state of consciousness where we can choose, where we can actually create a new perspective, right? Out of two, there's the three, and the three is the new one. So here we see Leo acting and saying, well, or even roaring into the soul path, and the bird here, the peacock, is also looking at the soul path. The yoga position for Leo is Simhasana, the lion's pose or the lion's breath. And so here we're roaring ourselves, recognizing the infinite eight above and below us. And we have here the Scorpio, the position most difficult, not most, but difficult in a sense where we put our feet above our head and the Phoenix is rising out of that in that transformation. So here are the positions for each of the zodiac signs. And ruled by the Sun and ruled by Pluto, the judge, the one that is saying, well, have you done the right things? Is your heart as light as a feather? And of course, the fifth house of joy and the eighth house of transformation, of we recognize that within us is the biggest transformation, is the biggest understanding of when we die, we actually come into a new physical body and we can begin all the way from the beginning again. So that's the two energies that are influencing you right now. Then here in the Handel Tarot, right, each zodiac sign gets its specific tarot deck. And so here we have the Good Tarot for Leo, and for you I have chosen Hermann Handel, a very deep, powerful deck. And here you have Odin as the King of Cups. If your birthday is between October 13 and November 12, then this is your court card. If not, look in the description below. Odin is pointing here at the rune alphabet that's lying here and saying, the way it's arranged, Tarot. He was hanging 9 days on the tree and got then the rune alphabet. A very strong mythical figure, very intense. Yeah, he's like a magician. He's really even like a sorcerer, right? Back to the last reading, we have Cancer Sun that is giving Scorpio Moon the light. The 5 times 5 portal speaks. Say it directly and inclusively. So, very clear where there was this message of, well, burst out, give yourself the permission to speak up, right? 5 out of 5 senses. 5 is also always that moment where we learn the most, or it's a difficult time. So then I do one more overall card for you out of the Live Through My Healing Oracle deck, where the rune alphabet is in there. And we see what the message is from the rune alphabet that you're pointing at, right? When you see his hand is pointing directly down here. All right, so God, we have heartache, throb 53. You can stop the video and read the card yourself. The message. Sobbing, throbbing, dark sparks grab hold of the heart, crushing the soul's freedom. Dread threads reach out with serpentine hooked fangs that sink and pierce deep. Why, cries the choking soul, but the deep dark hole opens wider and anger tangles itself around, crafting harsh lines into the flesh, victimizing us. It clings and wrings out each drop of love from every thought. So we have the 53, right? The 5 again, the 5 senses back to the 5 times 5 portal. The 3, the Empress. So you have the Hierophant, the Empress, creating then an 8, which is then the strength to create a union between that gentle soul and the wild lion. Strong message. And so your heart ache or throb, hopefully, is not something too serious. So let's have a look. We begin on the position of the Fool, which is that state of consciousness that is saying, well, now I have a clear path in front of me. I am pointing with my left hand forward into the physical path, because to the right is physical, to the left is spiritual or soul based, right? And so you saw how the lion is here roaring into the left, and now you turn around and you go to the right. You see how the bird is also looking into the soul, and the death person is also going to the left. And that's almost saying, well, now a new path is beginning in your mind. Sword in her right hand, and her left hand is leading forward to the right path. And the Fool is that state of consciousness. It's just, I have a clear thought. This is the Queen of Swords. She is Libra, and I think you are ready to take on this journey. She's the 7th zodiac sign. 7 is also the Chariot. Something is letting you know, go for it. You can do it. Right? Then on the position of the Magician comes the Tree of Life, the number 58. So again, there is a 5. But an 8, which is of course again the 8 of Leo, the strength that you find now to see from a higher perspective that everything is coming and going. The 8, the infinite symbol of coming and going, and knowing that the breath of inhale and exhale is speaking here directly through Leo to you. Take that breath, take that step, and the Tree of Life is appearing. And when we calculate it together, the 58 creates a 13, and 13 is your number. Then it becomes a 4, right? And this is also a 4. So yes, you are called upon to recognize that you must understand very clearly that this moment is important. This next step of that foolish idea of I'm wanting to go forward and take that path, the one is that inspiration is all 4 elements are lying here for the Magician, and so calculated together 58 And calculated together, the 58 becomes with the one of 59, and that becomes a 14, and the 14 is Sagittarius, back to the five senses, recognizing that the test of the 5 here again, and last time 5 times 5 portal is speaking to you, say it directly and inclusively. Then comes on the position of the High Priestess, comes the 6 of Wands, and that's Jupiter in Leo. So Leo is strong. Leo is giving you the roar to say it directly. He roars. And he speaks about, right, that moment where the sparks of the heart crushing the soul's freedom, right? Sobbing, throbbing, dark sparks grab hold of the heart, crushing the soul's freedom. So you are roaring, you are calling the soul. And so you have a 6, and the 2 is an 8 again. So the 8 is calling, the 8 is speaking quite strongly now. Right, you have the 8 of the Leo, and then you have here an 8 and an 8 in the heartache. So the High Priestess is the intuition, and in your intuition, you know, you can be successful by recognizing that now a time of celebration is upon you, and you want to take that step out. You want to go out and be connected again. And so here the intuition is saying, yes, you can be victorious. You can be in a very higher state of consciousness. And that's what Leo is bringing you if you roar. The 8-8 and the 8 with the tree. On the position of the Empress comes Capricorn. Capricorn, the social status, the devil that is attaching us to the belief that social status is all we need, and then we are happy. So we have the 15 and the 3 of the Empress creates an 18, which is the age of Pisces. We are currently in the age of Pisces. And so when I do a left spinning reading, it's the soul path reading. And today it's a right spinning reading. That's why I place the cards to the right. And that's connected with the spin of the earth once to the right in 24 hours. We have day and night. And the other one is to the left, 25,800 years long. And we calculate that through the 12 zodiac signs and get an age of 2,150 years. Currently we're in the age of Pisces, going into the age of Aquarius, the age of the star. So the Empress is letting you know, well, Capricorn, the attachment to certain things, the third eye. So a 6-6 portal here is happening through the 1 and the 5. Again, the 5 as the 5 senses, the magician that can take over those 5 senses and goes into the 6th sense, goes into the third eye. 6-6 speaking here. And Virgo is the 6th zodiac sign, which is the next reading. Then on the position of Leo comes the 6 of Cups. Sun in Scorpio. And so you have a 6, 6, 6, a very clear 666. If you go and connect with the past, and you see here those 6 pearls of memory floating in the air, and she's looking down into the water, and she is seeing that there is an emotional attachment, something that is gonna give you the feeling you have to look deep back into where the sun was in Scorpio, but now we're going towards the month of then August, then we have September, October, and then November. Then again, you will have your new moon. And then the sun and the new moon are both in your sign. And so there is a message already coming to you, speaking to you, letting you know you are here with the 8 and the 6. That creates a 14 again, which is a 5. Right, so the 5 is coming, the 6, 6, 6, the 8. Again, the messages are coming. Then on the position of the King of Cups, Odin, comes the Hanged Man, the number 12, which is a 3. And so the 1 and the 2, right, the Magician and the High Priestess, are actually giving you the strength to go into a deeper state of consciousness, because he's hanging upside and he's pointing at the rune alphabet, and he's pointing almost here now at the Hanged Man that is hanging upside down on this tree. And the rainbow is here. You are overcoming a deep sorrow, a deep emotional attachment to the past. Because, I mean, then it's becoming a 3, right? The Empress is giving birth here to Capricorn, the attachment, the going up into the third eye. And when we hang upside down, it's almost like we liberate the third eye. And so the 8 and the 3 calculated together is an 11. So it's a 1-1 portal. Right here where you have your court card, right? And so allow yourself to liberate yourself, because he's pointing down at it. Allow yourself to go deep, deep down into your past and liberate yourself from things that you think have attached to you or hold on to you, and you want to liberate yourself now. Because on the position of Scorpio, the Death card, comes the 8 of Wands, and that's a swiftness into the right spinning path, a swiftness that is saying you're gonna get the information, you're gonna get the message. And it's very organized. You see that? They're very parallel to each other. And so you have the 13, which is a 4, and the 8, that's a 12. So then you have a 12-12 portal, letting you know then things happen really fast. 3-3, then you have really the power to awaken to the empowerment, the true empowerment. And that's the inspiration that you're then getting out of that, the 3-3. Then on the position of the moon comes Alberto Villoldo's Dream Oracle, and so here the moon is bringing you the card number 47, the Sky Bridge. The possibility for union is then happening. This is the 18 becomes a 9, and the 47 becomes an 11. 4, then you get the Emperor, because you are also a 4, right? The 13 becomes a 4, becomes the Emperor, becomes that I have decided, I have made a decision in the physical world to successfully going up to the moon, which is up here. So the moon is here and the moon is here. 9, 11, if I calculate together, it's a 20, and that's the new age. But the 11, I leave the 11, so it's a 9-11 Virgo moment. See, then something is liberated. Something can then go up to a higher consciousness. Then on the position of the sun comes here then this beautiful card, the 36, the electricity, the wildness, and this is exactly here, Leo, the wildness, right? You allow yourself then to be wild, you allow yourself to be conscious, because on the position of the strength came the Six of Cups, the sun. When the sun is again in your sign, then you are liberated. You have taken that path up, and look, when you take the path up, this is what's happening up here, right? And so here you recognize then things happen really fast, because on the position of the moon comes here through Scorpio the Eight of Wands. Then that rush, you're going up and you see how the arrows are going up. You're like, wow, the 8 and the 47, it's an 8-11. And so here the 19, success in going and taking your path up the stairs, the 11, and the sun bringing to you now that wildness, that dance, that openness, that I am free, I am open, I am happy. I have taken that path up through the moon, the 9 and the 11, right? And then here, the 10 and the 9, which is a 19, which is then again a 10 left. So see that the 10 here, the completion, is bringing you forward, because then on the position of the universe, here in Hermann Handel comes the dragon, comes the 1 ace, comes that 1 coin, and it's a 1-1 portal. The 21, which is then a 3, and the 1 again is a 4. Then you come out, right? You as the 13, which is becoming a 4 then, right? And so there is an understanding that you will recognize what this liberation brings to you, brings also new money, new ways of seeing money, because the world will learn by this transformation. And then you see how then she will be backed up by the Ace of Pentacles, and she's like, okay, now I'm gonna take that step forward. And she really is. She's like, I am ready to be in that mental state, the one that is acting upon whatever then that foolish idea has come to you, to create a business or to create whatever it is. But you also know that the Tree of Life has spoken as the empowerment to the 13 in itself, right? Here is a 4, then of course with the Magician the 5, right? But there is also a 4 here. And so the 4 is speaking to you, and you are recognizing the 4 in here, in taking that step up and being open and wild, because the sun is bringing that to you. And so let that out, really let that out, and see the opportunities that are now coming to you, and act upon it. Just don't think about it, only act upon it, which you do, right? You get here the Jupiter in Leo card of 6 of Wands, the victory. You will be very successful, and even though the attachment sometimes comes with the Capricorn, but the social status sometimes, if you handle it well, and if you know that sometimes it can attach you, right? That 666 portal, remember, I think I put that up in the front, is don't allow anything to hold you down in that pure thought that you have now through Libra, right? And so you see that the situation is, you will recognize a new perspective of this heartache, right? Because it's that infinite look either to the soul or to the human path. right? And so we will see that you have that 888. Maybe it's this one. This is maybe the front. Let's see. I will pick it intuitive. So here is this 888. Recognize that there is something that wants to bring you forward, because I'm just seeing right now, see, sometimes we don't see all of it. The 8 and the 6 is a 14, is a 5 again, right? So you have 14 wands, the 5. And you remember the 5, right? Here's a 5 and 5 times 5 portal in Cancer Sun. So recognize that. Now, of course, Leo is talking, and we will see then what's happening in the next reading. So I hope you join me in the next reading, because then the Earth is spinning in such a way. When we look at the Sun, we see Virgo behind it, and this is what's happening in the time of Virgo. The electricity, the wildness, that openness that you have now, because you took that step up to the moon, up to your higher consciousness, to the sky bridge. The possibility for a higher union deep within you is really here. Until then, thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.